Greetings and welcome to another Diablo 2 Resurrected video. Today I want to show you the Ghost Assassin, Chaos Ghost Assassin, Ghost Chaos Assassin. Maybe that's what I will call her, because we are running the Chaos Rune Word, which gives us Whirlwind, and we are running full Natalia set, which gives us a transparent character, which is kind of like a ghost. So let's dive in. We're level 89, we're on ladder. No, I just want to show it here, it's on ladder. And yeah, I just made my Chaos Rune Word like 2 days ago. And you can see we are transparent, woohoo, without fate, because we have full Natalia set. Without it, it's just a regular old assassin. We actually don't even, I never noticed that. We are not casting a shadow in that form. Look at this. Maybe I call her Shadowless Chaos Assassin, I don't know. We will see. And yeah, here is the bread and butter. It is Chaos and the full Natalia set. And Natalia set is so great. It's so cheap on ladder. You get the weapon for 1 perfect amethyst. I actually, I threw it or something, or I sold it accidentally. It just wasn't there anymore after I sold some stuff. It was weird. Never happened to me before. And then I had to get a new one, and I got it for 1 perfect amethyst, which is like insane to me because this weapon is so rare. I never found it myself. I guess you have to farm TC 85 for it to drop. Then it needs to be Scissor Survive, which is rare on its own, and then it needs to be a set as well. And yeah, it's really, really good, especially for Blade Fury. It has good damage, not the best, but okay damage. It ignores target defense, and it has damage to demons and undead. So most of the enemy types you will find across Sanctuary is actually demons or undead. There are also animal types like cows, for example, but they're not as often occurring as like demons and undead, right? For example, in Chaos Sanctuary, you only find demons and undead. I think in River of Flame, there's also animal type with like these types of monsters that lay eggs or something. And also like the humanoid types, like the brutes in the River of Flame, are also not of demon or undead type. And unfortunately, there's no plus to damage specifically for humanoid or animal type. We just go with flat enhanced damage, of course. That's why it's so great and it's so powerful, especially in Travincal, because these are demons and this stacks up really, really well with Laying of Hands, which gives a massive 350% damage to demons, along with the attack speed, which is nice for Blade Sentinel placing, for Whirlwind. And yeah, that's basically the setup. I got perfect topes right here. We are not a max damage build right now. I actually have to respec. Also, I need a token because in the start of ladder I toyed around with some fire trap assassin stuff, so I don't have any respecs anymore. But going through the rest of the gear, I have a cat set right now. Ideally, I would want High Lords here. I have the Natalias with a poor all-res roll, actually. At least we have 3 sockets in our armor right here, and then we put in perfect topuses. Natalia's Soul, the boots are pretty good roll, actually, on the res. Nail Ring, which is also, in terms of max damage, it's not ideal. It gives some attack rating, but you would either like run a second Raven Frost or maybe a dual leech ring with some nice stats. I don't know if I have. I mean, I have this is single leech. This one is actually neat. So I could run this, also giving me more res, but I'm actually overcapping on fire. So for now, I will take it. But we don't need the dual leech now because Natalia's gives us dual leech. Coming back to the set, plus 3 to assassin skill levels, 14 ML, 14 massive life leech, plus defense. I actually don't know what my defense is. I mean, it's okay, but defense is like a stat you don't really care about, I guess. I wonder if we could do something with defense. Anyhow, 50 all res, and then the big one, physical damage received reduced by 30%. This is massive, this is huge, this is great when you're melee. We're actually running a Bone Break Charm right here, so this is a bit less in total. We could actually place it there because I do have my Mercenary with Reaper's Toll, but more on that in a second. Then I'm running Gold Wrap, not really for the attack speed, but you know, for the magic find, and I don't really have something else right now. And yeah, Raven Frost very mandatory because of cannot be frozen. You could technically put a gem in Natalia's helmet. Do you really want to do that? Probably not. Also, the Rayon Frost gives us dexterity and attack rating, which in turn gives us, like, dexterity gives us extra attack rating. You can see it's like 1k attack rating from Rayon Frost alone, and we need attack rating. We're a bit starved on attack rating, actually. And then Chaos. This unlocks Whirlwind for us. It gives us +1 to Whirlwind along with other very useful stats. Actually, the Frozen Orb on striking, get to see right here on the first line, does not apply with Whirlwind. Unfortunately, that would be cool while whirlwinding around and then, you know, casting Frozen Orbs. But it does apply with Blade Fury. Actually, with Blade Fury, it does. And then we have increased attack speed, which is very, very good right here because it gives us like enough speed that we don't really need any more attack speed, but more than in a second to reach like the max frames per attack, or like the lowest frames per attack, I guess. Enhanced damage rolled pretty mid. I think it can go up to 330 or 340, but it starts at 280, so that's a mid roll right here. Adds a ton of magic damage, which is also huge. It's also very, very good. And you can see here we have a very, very nice max damage right here. And you see the Natalia's is pretty low. And again, it doesn't really top out with a good damage right here. The min damage is okay, but the top damage is not so great. Yeah, moving on here, chance of open wounds is nice. And then I have a base with Death Sentry Dragonflight, because it saves me 4 points for Dragonflight and it saves me a lot of points to reach Death Sentry. Death Sentry is just a bonus. You don't really need it. And then +3 is very nice. We got +3 assassin skills right here. We got +3 from the torch. So we got how many points? 10 right now in Death Sentry, which is okay. It's not great. But ideally you want to transition to, well, other gear, of course. Natalia's is not the end game setup right here. It's more like a mid-range setup. And if you want to do max damage with Whirlwind and also get higher Death Sentry, you would, for example, need a Plague in your offhand. And then ideally you get one with +3 to Death Sentry as well. All right, charms. Let's talk charms. Max damage, attack rating. These are the ones that give you the most of damage. It's actually fairly close. If you look at only Blade Fury, Blade Sentinel, it's close with plus traps. But because we're whirlwinding, actually max damage and attack rating are better. And then whatever you can get or need in terms of Magic Find or Res. All right, you see our split here. We have 143 Magic Find. Actually, it's not too bad. Could have a bit more with a Perfect Topaz in the helmet, for example, or different amulet. I mean, we don't really need to run Cat's Eye. Faster Unlock is nice. Attack speed is actually not needed. Dexterity is also nice, gives us around 500 attack rating. Then we have 150 strength, because these are fairly needy in terms of strength, because Talia's needs 149. I could again respec also in terms of attributes, go lower, because I have a torch, I have any. This torch is a bit poor, but it still gives 10. This gives 13, and anything else that I will find in terms of torch or any will be an upgrade. So could respec, but actually strength gives a bit of damage from Whirlwind. But yeah, dexterity 155 it's a bit much maybe, but I also had it pretty high because I wanted to go for max block with a shield. We don't run a shield right now, and we have a weapon block, but yeah, it also gives us a decent amount of attack rating, which is also very needed. And then yeah, rest and vitality. And yeah, back to the skills. Here's our Dragonflight from the Claw, which is nice. Here's our Death Sentry from the Claw, which is nice. And then we go all in on the Blade skills because they're still very, very strong. And I know you could go pure Whirlwind build and then just don't care about these skills and maybe, yeah, invest in the Death Sentry if you want. You don't need to use Blade skills, but I like Blade Shield to have it around me while I'm whirlwinding. I do like to sometimes use Blade Fury for single targets because it's still very, very strong. I mean, still, it is very, very strong. And I like to throw in a couple of Blade Sentinels here and there. It's actually a very competitive damage and like up to 2000 right here. So yeah, that's my setup in terms of main skills. Whirlwind. And then Shadow Disciplines, and there you can see I need to respec because I need to spec out of Shadow Master, which is nice to have, but you don't need it. So I would rather max out Claw Mastery and max out or put more points into Venom, because these two will actually increase our Whirlwind damage. So not the Blade skills, not the Death Sentry, but actually these two are the ones that actually improve your damage. Then only 1 point of Burst of Speed. I'm actually using Burst of Speed. You could run Fade, but that brings me back to the Claw of choice and also the attack speed on them. So there have been some changes in 2.43 about Whirlwind, and then there have been some very smart guys figuring out the attack speed on what you need and how to reach 4 frames per attack, which is like the highest. And Feral Claws has a higher base speed than, for example, a Survivor or Scissor Survivor. But what I found out, if you run like Scissor Survivor, and then a Feral Claws, you need like 43 IAS to reach like the max breakpoint from 4 FPA. So if you have Burst of Speed, it's actually no problem. And if you use a Survivor as a base, which has more min damage, a bit less max damage, but more min damage, and overall more damage, then you would need 48 IAS. So we have enough IAS. We're using Burst of Speed. We have 20 also here, we have 20 here, we have 10 here. That alone is 50 if we keep those slots. So yeah, do whatever you like in terms of like claws, but you don't need to run runic claws. You don't need to run feral claws. This is old, outdated information. And yeah, since the changes in 2.43 with Whirlwind in the calculation, we are actually pretty free in terms of weapon choice. So rather look out for the mods on it. Here it's Death Sentry and Dragonflight or whatever you want to have. And there you go. Also in the offhand, I have like this neat one. It has 2 to Assassin skills, 3 to Venom, and then Bartox as well. So if I have another one of this, I can actually pre-buff Venom pretty nicely. I'm gonna do that here. We're actually gonna use our Shadow Master. And yeah, I talked already like 12 minutes only about the build. My goodness. Time for some gameplay, but lastly we have the Mercenary has a Temper, Durier Shell, and Reaper's Soul. These two are not really, yeah, I mean, that's what I have. I think he survives okay. Not great, but okay. And then Reaper's Toll, of course, enhances our damage by a lot. The Decrepify is amazing. And that's why we are using Dragonflight to just be like on top of the monster. And then usually the Decrepify will proc right away. And let's go to the pits, shall we?
Such corruption in this place.
So we don't have, of course, we don't have Enigma right now. You could actually use Enigma, but then you need to change like a lot of the build in terms of equipment, because you would not be running the rest of Natalia's. Natalia is actually pretty poor when it comes to 3 pieces. I mean, you can take a look. If I have 3 pieces, I only get 200 defense and magic damage reduced by 15. It's so bad. And then boom, this unlocks so much. I don't know why it doesn't have like these green set bonuses that you find, for example, on Russia's, which gives you like faster cast or like magic find, you know, and then something equivalent for the Natalia set would be nice, but yeah, it's not in it for us, I guess. And yeah, if we go into the pits here, the nice thing is that a lot of enemies here are demons, and as I mentioned before, we're doing a lot of damage against demons. There are also some undeads here. We're doing okay against them as well. Cannot leech from them, mostly. That's a bit annoying. And you can see sometimes these lags or something, or I get teleported a few steps back or something. This is due to like some issue with Whirlwind and Assassin. This happens every now and then, which is kind of annoying. But I guess sometimes the game doesn't know where you are and resets your position for a few milliseconds or something. So yeah, keep that in mind. But overall, it's actually been good, and it has been worse a few patches ago. I think they fixed a little bit of the stuff, so it feels actually pretty smooth. It can still happen. So I'm using Blade Sentinel here, and then whirlwinding into it, or into other monsters. Not using Death Sentry right now. We could also do that. Go here, bum bum bum. But mostly we don't need it. Like that's why I mean, like Death Sentry is very optional. And it's kind of nice in like, for example, Chaos. But in Chaos I would not Whirlwind, I would just use Blade Fury or Blade Sentinel and then Death Sentry. Because Whirlwind in Chaos, I mean, our damage is not good enough against Animal type especially. But the cool thing with Burst of Speed, we are pretty fast. I mean, I'm not really missing Enigma or something that much, because we run pretty fast with that setup. So I don't like to have Death Sentry on the A button, but I'm kind of running out of buttons. Hey, from Laying of Hands. Why there's only one pack down here? What happened? Oh, there we go. You can also do like 2 Death Sentries, 1 Blade Sentinel, and then just dive in. So I'm actually very pleased with how it turned out in terms of overall damage and survivability. The Natalia set is pretty strong in terms of survivability and also gives you some decent damage, especially against demons. And yeah, we can also go to the Travincal. And basically, yeah, you jump in. The Crapify was proc, but I used Cloak of Shadows. And there you go. And if I want, I can just use Blade Fury. And arguably, it's even stronger against these guys, but it always kind of depends on the positioning of the monsters here. Sometimes if they're really clumped up, I mean, Whirlwind is great for that too, but then also like Blade Fury if they are like in a straight line. That's kind of cool. So yeah, that's about it. I think showed you some gameplay. I'm pretty pleased again with this outcoming. I give you a sneak peek on how it could look after having a Talia set and farming for some more, because I have it actually on non-leather. I have it not decked out totally, but more decked out assassin. So you're running with, okay, she has dual plague. Wait a second. Chaos, and I could run 2 Chaos, which doesn't really make sense because I want the plus skills from Blake and all the other good stuff. But technically you could put then you get 1 more point of Whirlwind, which amounts to, I mean, some damage. Let's see, it's like 5% more damage on attack rating, so it's not better than +2 to all skills. Oh wait, this is level 5. Oh yeah, sure, because of the +2 to skills, it's actually lower, so never mind that. And yeah, then you can run Chi Phase for huge damage. You can also run actually Shaco, then you also get higher Whirlwind damage. You can run then Fortitude, which boosts your damage a lot. You can see here the numbers are way higher than what we just saw. High Lords, Gore Riders, Dual Leech Ring, String of Beers for survivability, Raven Frost, Laying of Hands against demons, and then swap it out again for example, Ghoul Hides if you're facing more undead, if you're like farming Stony Tombs. So yeah, CTA Spirit, and it just shows you that I have some work to do. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, like Whirlwind, Chaos, Ninja Assassin, Ninja Ghost, Chaos Assassin is great. You should try it out. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and goodbye.